That is all I have to say. For those of you who watched yesterday's edition of the Power 5, you went 5-0. That's in addition to the morning wager going 4-0. I know there was some overlap there, but still, nice day on video for me. Of course, my premium plays were 4-0 at WagerTalk.com on Wednesday. Didn't have any of those yesterday, but regardless, seeing it well, heading into the weekend, no doubt about it. Make sure you're subscribed to the WagerTalk YouTube channel, of course. How about 5 more free winners for Friday? I've got you covered on Marquette, Villanova, Michigan State, Michigan. One of the big NBA matchups on ESPN, not to mention the Spurs without Victor Wembanyama. But we start in soccer. Let's head to Italy for Serie A's lone Friday fixture. Udinese at Lecce, 2:45 p.m. Eastern. I'm back in the road team. Udinese, draw, no bet. Have to lay minus 125, but in my opinion, that's worth it, knowing in case of a draw, our bet would push, not lose. But here's why I think Udinese wins Friday. First off, they won the first meeting 2-0 earlier this season. They come into today on a 3-match unbeaten run overall. That includes victories over Venezia and Empoli, not to mention 1-1 draw against league leaders Napoli. Now, I know Lecce are also unbeaten over their last 3, but they have just 1 win over Parma, who's in a relegation fight, and Lecce lost the XG battle in that match. Then 2 straight 0-0 draws. Despite that, Lecce still has the second worst goal differential in the league. I'm confident in saying they will not win Friday again. Back Udinese, draw, no bet. Any questions how to make that bet or on soccer in general, feel free to comment down below. Pardon me. Also, if you're in the mood for even more soccer, I've got 2 premium selections available for sale on my page, wt.buzz/bp right now. Coming off that nice win in the Champions League on Wednesday with Sporting plus half a goal. It was a 0-0 draw, so we were never not winning that bet. Also, don't forget I hit my 4% Premier League best bet last weekend with Bournemouth -1. One of today's 2 plays is another 4% best bet in the EPL. Okay, now let's talk about college basketball because we've got 2 big games on the docket. Number 16, Marquette at Villanova. Marquette's now a 1.5-point road favorite, up from an opener of -1. This one tips off 7 p.m. Eastern on FS1. If you caught today's edition on the Morning Wager, then you know Mark Zinno likes the Golden Eagles here. Feels they're the better team. They've certainly had Nova's number, easy for me to say, the past 4 seasons, going a perfect 8-0 straight up and ATS head-to-head in this Big East rivalry. Looking at what these teams have done more recently, after 3 straight losses, Marquette's righted the ship, back-to-back double-digit wins, albeit against DePaul and Seton Hall. If you caught the Power 5 on Tuesday, then you heard me endorse the Golden Eagles in that game against Seton Hall, which they totally dominated. As for Villanova, I had them last Wednesday when they upset St. John's. Since then, the Wildcats have dropped back-to-back games, though, both on the road. Note, this one's being played at the Wells Fargo Center in Philly, not on campus. Give me the over for Michigan State, Michigan tonight on Fox, 8 p.m. Eastern tip-off from Ann Arbor. That number's currently 152. I know when Michigan State is involved, 3-point makes are scarce, but I still think both these teams can find success offensively in this matchup. Look for Michigan to use its pick and roll against a Sparty defense that is shaky on the interior. We saw that in the recent loss to Indiana when they could not defend the paint. At the same time, the way you attack this Michigan defense is in the mid-range. That happens to be the strength of the Michigan State offense. Also, Sparty may have success here in transition because Michigan tends to turn the ball over a lot. That is certainly the weakness with this Wolverines team, which is 7-1 straight up their last 8 games, but all 7 wins have been by 4 points or less. The one loss at Purdue was by 27. That said, the Maize and Blue still unbeaten this season, 12-0 straight up at Chrysler Arena. Let's next turn to the NBA. A real bummer that Victor Wembanyama's season is now over due to injury. The Spurs are hosting the Pistons tonight. I would lay the 4.5 with the road team in this one. Now, the Spurs did win last night here at home against Phoenix in the first game without Wembanyama. I misspoke on the morning wager. We talked about this game. I said it was the first game. Tonight would be the first game with Wembanyama. That was obviously incorrect. I apologize for that snafu. But I wonder about the Spurs' psyche on the second night of a back-to-back. This is a team that's not going to make the playoffs. They understand that. They're not going to do it. They're not going to overcome multiple teams. They're not going to make up that deficit without their superstar Wembanyama, even if they do have De'Aaron Fox. Give the Spurs credit for stepping up last night, but this is a really tough spot facing a Pistons team that's been resting for 8 days. And it could be argued the Pistons are simply the better team, even if the Spurs had Wembanyama. Quietly, Detroit's up to 6th in the Eastern Conference. This is a team that's won 4 straight going into the All-Star break. Lay it here, by the way. This game tips off 8:40 Eastern. I have nothing on the first game of tonight's ESPN doubleheader, which is Knicks and Cavs. Both teams on the second night of a back-to-back there. I'll still be watching, however, since it is the Cavs. But I'll be betting on the second game of the ESPN doubleheader, T-Wolves Rockets, 9:40 Eastern in Houston. I understand the Rockets are the better team overall, typically play better at home, but give me the points in this one. Minnesota's getting 4 from the odds makers per the WagerTalk Live odds screen. This is the first game for both teams since the break. But the Rockets are 0-6 ATS, their last 6. Yes, Anthony Edwards is questionable for Minnesota tonight, but so is Fred VanVleet for Houston, which is why they are struggling. Just 2 straight-up wins for the Rockets in their last 9 contests. Both of them were against bad teams, so give me the points in this one. Looking ahead to the weekend, Mark Zitto and I are teaming up for an incredible offer on Saturday. You can get all of our plays tomorrow for just $39. I'm going to have a massive card, so well worth the price of admission. I already mentioned I'm coming off a 4-0 sweep, also 10-3 last 13 in college hoops. Mark's been seeing it just as well, if not better. Mark's had an incredible 2025, in particular with the 5% plays. So it's 2 of the hottest handicappers at WagerTalk. Every play tomorrow for just $39. Head on over to wt.buzz/BP to get that deal right now. You can pre-order. You do not have to wait to Saturday to get on board. And if you pre-order, you're going to get all the plays as soon as Mark and I release them. It's a great way to get the best of the number. That is going to do it for me on Friday. I really hope you guys enjoyed the show. Smash that like button if you did. Until next time, guys, there will be a Saturday edition of the Power 5. Let's cash some tickets.